Hi, this is the online tutorial of function overloading in C++. This is the last part of video lecture of module 3. Function overloading is one of the main features of C++ programming. By using this feature, we can write a program having two or more functions with same function name but different parameter values. This feature is called as function overloading. Function overloading is also considered as one of the main example of polymorphism feature in C++. Polymorphism is nothing but an ability to take more than one form. That is, here a same function can produce different output values or can behave in different ways based on the argument we are passing. This example will give you the clear idea about how function overloading works in C++. So for that, in this example you can see that I have declared three functions with the same name, that is the function name is display. Here you can see that I have declared three functions display with the same return type void, but parameter list are different. That you can see in the first function declaration the parameter is integer or argument is integer. For the second function the parameter or argument passed is float. For the third function display, the parameter or argument passed are integer and float. Two parameters or two arguments are there. So inside the main function, I have declared two variables a and b, which is initialized with value. A is initialized with value 5 and b is initialized with value 5.5, which is a floating point value. Then I called function display of by passing a as an argument. Then I called same function display of by passing b as an argument. Then I called function display of with a and b as an argument. So what will happen when you call function like this? Which function will execute? So after the main function you can see that the function definition for each display function. The first function definition for display function accepts integer as an argument and it will display integer number, then whatever value you are passing to that. Then second function definition accepts float as an argument and display float number with whatever value you are passing. Then third function accepts two arguments, first one is integer and second one is floating point. So that will display integer number with whatever value you are passing to integer variable 1. Then second time it will display float number, then whatever value you are passing as second argument. So this is the way of executing this program. So come to the main function. When display of a is called, which display function will be executed? That is decided based on the argument you are passing to that function. Here display of a is called, so a is an integer number, that is value 5, so it will execute first function definition, or control goes to the first function definition, that is void display of in var, because you are passed an integer value to that function display. All functions are the same name, but it will execute the first function definition because you are passed integer value as an argument. So you will get an output integer number colon 5, because inside the first function definition it is written like cout integer number colon, then whatever value you are passing. I passed a value a is 5, so it will display integer number 5. So go back to the main function. When I call display of b, what will happen? Which display function will execute? So b value is actually a floating point value. So when I call display of b, it will execute, or the control will go to the second function definition, that is void display of float var, because in the first function definition it is an integer number, argument is an integer number. Here I call display of with a value b is 5.5, it is a floating point number, so it is matching with the second function definition, so it will be executed. So we get output float number, then whatever floating point value you are passing. So when I call third function display of a comma b, so here you can see that two parameters are there. A is an integer value and b is a floating point value. So it will the control will goes to the third function definition, because inside the third function definition the parameter values are argument values are integer and float. So it is matching with third function definition. So the statement inside third function definition will be executed. So you will get output integer number 5 and float number 5.5. So you can clearly see that the display of function is called 3 times with a different type of number of arguments, but you will get correct result without any confusion or contradiction. Why this is happening? This feature is called as polymorphism. That is, whatever argument you are passing to that function, the corresponding function will execute, function definition will execute. Okay, so if you are passing integer number, first function definition will execute. If you are passing floating point number to the function display, it will execute second function definition, whatever statement written in second function definition. And if you are passing two argument, first is integer and second one is float, it will execute third function definition. This concept is called as polymorphism. It will select accordingly based on the argument or parameter you are passing to function. Suppose that a program contains two or more functions with same function name but different parameter values. So when you call an overloaded function, who will determine the right function for execution or right function definition for execution? That is done by the compiler. The compiler determines the most appropriate function definition to use by comparing the argument type you have used to call the function with the parameter type specified in the function definition. The process of selecting the most appropriate overloaded function is called as overload resolution. Similarly, you can also overload operators. That is not part of your syllabus. That is why we are not discussing it here. That is called as operator overloading. This is an end of video tutorial of function overloading in C++. And also, this is an end of video tutorials of module 3 of computer programming and computational techniques. Thank you.